Alright, so I'm here with James, Fantasy Flight Games, and he's going to talk to us a bit about X-Wing, the new miniatures game that just came out. James, so what's your role in X-Wing? This game just dropped yesterday. What kind of role did you have in its production?
So I came on to the X-Wing core set when it was in its beta. We did an open beta where we recruited some people, some playtesters, sometimes from Board Game Geek, to do our test. I came in at that process and helped move the beta along, correct some of the issues that came up. Since then, I am involved as the designer and developer of future waves for the game.
Nice.
So I will be doing expansion ship packs. I've done some of the development for the Millennium Falcon and Slave One, and A-Wing and TIE Interceptor, which we just announced a short while ago.
Yeah, tell us a bit more about that. So we caught the tail end of the in-flight report, but didn't get the X-Wing stuff. So what's coming up for X-Wing that you guys announced today?
So today was, we announced Wave 2, which is the Millennium Falcon and Slave One, which are two medium-sized ships, which have a larger base, and the actual ships' models themselves are considerably larger than an X-Wing and TIE fighter.
Nice.
And then A-Wing and TIE Interceptor are small ships, starships just like the X-Wings and the TIE fighters, but they're extremely mobile, extremely fast, highly maneuverable, very exciting ships to fly.
Nice. So with ships like Slave One, Millennium Falcons, these are things that are ingrained in the canon, right? Is it totally cool to put different pilots, different upgrades on these ships, or do they come kind of as a package deal?
They will be just like the ships in Wave 1 and in the core set. When you buy an expansion pack, you'll get the plastic for the ship, and then it comes with several ship cards that let you put different pilots in, plenty of its upgrade cards. It has quite a number of upgrade cards that come with it because it introduces some new upgrade types.
Nice. So you've obviously played the game quite a bit.
Yes.
I guess I always like to ask, what's your favorite thing about this game? You know, you've probably been on the guts of it for a long time, but looking at it now from a distance, what is it that you think really draws people into this thing?
There's a customization option that's possible in this game that is very unique because though you have the plastic alone doesn't define the ship. It doesn't define what you do. Because you can put in different ship cards, which are different pilots effectively, because you can put in different upgrade cards, it almost has a CCG aspect to it.
Yeah,
so
sure.
There's this customization that's just unheralded, and it's great. I love it.
Awesome. So talking about like the next wave of things, you have the Slave One, the Millennium Falcon, medium-sized bases. Can we expect anything in the future as far as even larger bases, Executor, Death Star type stuff, or do you kind of see this game as more of a smaller skirmish style game?
Well, I can't talk about any specifics because I don't know.
Right.
The game certainly has the potential for different base sizes. It's a fairly modular game, so since we can just release a new ship pack, a larger ship is possible.
Nice.
Aside from that, I don't know.
Nice. So what do you see as far as the tournament scene, organized play support for this kind of game? Is there anything that you have in mind in particular for organized play support, anything in that area, and especially how you envision tournaments? Are you seeing 1 versus 1 head-to-head or missions, like we saw some scenarios as well? Is any of that going to be wrapped up in like the local play experience?
I'm sure we're encouraging all of our retailers to do as many tournaments as possible, frankly. I expect that they will typically be one-on-one tournaments just because of the customization experience. People are going to want to build their own special squads. Because the game does allow for team battles where multiple players can play on the Rebel side and on the Imperial side, it's entirely possible that we could do all sorts of different modes and combinations of players for our tournaments.
Cool. As far as the release schedule for the game, are you envisioning new ships once a year, once every 6 months, once a month? Do you have any kind of time frame?
I don't know what the time frame will typically be.
Okay,
honestly.
I'll ask you a more design-related question then. So some of the genius mechanics behind the game, I think, are the revealing the movement, hidden movement at the same time, having the templates, so you don't have to use the roller, and you can actually do a lot of dynamic movements.
Yes.
How hard was it to come up with these kinds of things? Was this a lot of just sitting around talking about how best to make a space battle game?
Well, I wasn't the core designer on it, so I don't know exactly what was going through Jay Little's head as he was planning the initial design. I imagine that he's played various games that have had this element of positioning and flying before, and in his mind, streamlining was probably the most important goal. So by making the game incredibly simple to play but still have a considerable strategic depth, he has sort of struck on the perfect spot. And once we would have found that through playtesting, that would have guided our development for the rest of the game.
Nice. All right, so finally, I guess, how's the reception been? You're here working the tournament. You've been working it all day. You'll probably be here, I assume, maybe more throughout the weekend. How do people seem to be receiving the game, and how is it judging the first tournament after it's just been released?
Well, players are loving it. I spent all day yesterday doing demos nonstop. That's my hoarse voice, obviously. And every player that has played it has absolutely loved it. And we have sold a ton of copies so far. I'm not sure the exact numbers, but it has been a lot. I've seen people carrying around stacks of core sets and armfuls of expansion packs. The reception has been overwhelming.
How rewarding is it to see people holding the stuff that you...
Oh, it's great,
right?
especially because I'm going to be making the featured stuff, so I know that they're going to buy my stuff, and that's great.
Awesome, James. Well, thanks so much. It looks like you've got a winner game on your hands here, and keep up the good work in the future.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.